Hey, this is Aimee J, and you're listening to Chasing Dreams with Aimee J.
Welcome to Chasing Dreams podcast with Aimee J. Aimee believes that realizing a life without regrets is achieved by taking chances, chasing your dreams, making moves, and overcoming your doubts. The Chasing Dreams podcast will help you overcome life's obstacles, believe in your potential, and inspire you to face your fears. And now here's the woman who is passionately pursuing her dreams, Aimee J.
Hey, Dream Chasers. This is Aimee J, and thank you guys so much for tuning into episode 168 of Chasing Dreams. Today is a solo episode, but before I go too far, here is a word from our sponsor. This episode is sponsored by our Patreon campaign supporters. Thanks to all of you for not just your monetary support, but for also believing in my mission to help inspire, empower, and equip people to chase their dreams. Your help makes it possible for me to continue that work. For more information on our Patreon campaign, and or if you'd like to donate $1 a month to help keep the show going, you can learn more at AimeeJ21.com/Patreon. That's Patreon, Patreon. Thanks again. Hey guys, so as I was saying, today is a solo episode, a special solo episode, since it's not really the type of episodes we do on a weekly basis. But I wanted to kind of share my thoughts on a specific topic. And this episode is inspired by the U.S. holiday Thanksgiving, which is the fourth Thursday in November. I know Canada has a Thanksgiving. I'm not sure when it is, but I'm inspired by that as well. But in particular, because tomorrow, which if you're listening to this when it comes out, is Thanksgiving Day in the U.S. And so I am actually not in the U.S. for Thanksgiving this year. I am traveling with my family. We are in India. As of today, I think we're in Mumbai. And so, regardless of where you are in the world, regardless of the day of the year, I think it's important to give thanks. And we're going to talk about why and what it does and why we don't do it enough. And, I'm just inspired by the fact that it is Thanksgiving. I was like, you know what? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about why. So regardless of how you feel about Thanksgiving itself and its origins and the Pilgrims and et cetera, that's not the point of this. Okay. We're not going to argue that. I just want to focus on the intent of the day, which is to give thanks for what you have in your life. Oftentimes you'll see on TV in the US shows, it's depicted as people sitting around a table, going around one by one, talking about what they are thankful for, what they are grateful for. And everybody kind of comes together for that purpose. But it shouldn't be limited to one day in particular. And I hope it isn't for you. But I think oftentimes when we talk about giving thanks, we think about the high level, right? We think about the typical things. And I think we all do this. It's just a natural instinct. I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful for the roof over my head. I'm thankful for my job. I'm thankful for being happy. Right? Those are the high level stuff that we kind of say. I'm thankful for my relationships, my family, my friends. Those are the common things that we talk about because those are the easiest things to identify, right? Other people are thankful for that. I have that too. So, hey, let me be thankful for that also. Let me acknowledge that as well. But there's more than that we should be thankful for. I think we forget that there are the little things that we should also be thankful for. And there's a quote by Robert Brault that says, "Enjoy the little things, for one day you may look back and realize they were the big things." And that's such a powerful thing to me because I think we think in milestones. I think we think in big things and we forget about the small stuff, right? Like, I'm not in the US right now. I'm thankful that I am able to travel to see and spend time with my family, in particular my grandmother, that she is here at the age of 93, I believe, and able to spend time with her. I'm thankful that when I was young, my parents sent me to India in the summers for months at a time. And one of those summers, I opted out of going shopping with my sisters and my aunts and opted to stay with my grandmother and have her teach me how to read and write Malayalam, which is my native tongue. And I can speak a little bit. I am grateful, thankful that because my parents have instilled that in me from a young age, I can be conversational with my family in India, with my family and friends in the community in America, because my parents taught me that. And my mom in particular insisted that we speak in that at home. Now, I'm not fluent. I'm not a professional native speaker, but I know enough that when the elders, what we call uppachins and ammachis, the grandmothers and grandfathers, the elders of my family, when I go to India, see me and think, I'll translate. But basically what they say is, I'm so grateful that you try to speak our language so that I can communicate with you, that I can speak with you, that you understand what I'm saying, that you can even reply back to me. Now, they also say, it's not perfect, but they overlook the fact that it's not perfect, that I can at least try, because they have younger relatives, nieces, nephews, grandchildren who cannot. So I am grateful and thankful for that little blessing, which at the time when I was younger, I did not appreciate. Oh, at all, guys. I didn't really appreciate it. I was like, what is it in Malayalam? So it's things like that I would not think about, that I'm grateful for, that I'm able to come here to Mumbai. I think that's where we are today, and spend this time. Right? It's an easy thing to overlook, right? To know that I still have one grandparent that I can spend time with, that my family, my uncles, my aunts are here for me to spend time with. Man, but what about the other stuff? The other things that we don't think about? Like, I'm thankful that I could wake up this morning. There are those who could not wake up this morning. Unfortunately, God be with them. May they rest in peace. I am thankful to have shoes on my feet. I'm thankful that I have feet, right? Those small things that we take for granted. I am thankful that I can walk around, that I am able, that I have no significant illness that prevents me from living my life. I am thankful for you guys listening to this podcast episode. You don't have to. For each and every one of you, I am so thankful. Right? The point of this, the reason I'm talking about it and the reason I want you to think about it is we don't need a special day to think about this. Every day we should be thankful for what we have. Oftentimes we think about, and it's very easy because we have something called a negativity bias, negativity bias. And we're just hardwired to automatically think and put more emphasis on the things that are going wrong. It's a survival instinct. That we have within ourselves. But it's important to not let that be what guides us, not let that be the focus of what we have going on. It's important that we focus on what is working, be thankful for what is working, to be grateful for it. And we don't, right? It's because it's so easy. It's ingrained in us to think of the negative, right? If you have a bad day at work, you think about the fact that, man, I really messed up there, right? But don't think that. Don't think that. Think about what immediately, once you start going to that negative, I want you to switch and go to that happy place. Think about something that is working. I have a job. I love the people I work with. I love that I'll get another chance to fix what happened. Think about what distract, kind of go away from that negativity that's surrounding you, because that doesn't do anything for you. Somebody tell me what focusing on negative thoughts and emotions does for you. It doesn't. But think about the little things that got you here. I have been podcasting for 5 years. I have been doing this podcast, Chasing Dreams, for 3 years. I am thankful for each and every listener, but I am especially thankful for those of you who have taken the time to let me know this has been helpful to you. Not because I'm being ungrateful to those who are silent, nothing like that. Because that is fuel for me to keep going. You know, we underestimate the power of positive thoughts. We underestimate the power of thanks. We underestimate the power of constructive criticism and feedback, right? I don't think of constructive criticism as a bad thing. I think it's great. Tell me, help me improve. And if you tell me positive feedback, warranted positive feedback, and not just for the sake of saying it, but you truly mean it, oh man, that's fuel for my fire. That gets me going so much. And someone said something, I read or heard it somewhere. If you're walking down this long path, you have this long journey ahead of you, right? And actually, I experienced this. I experienced this when I go visit my sister in Ithaca. And I experienced it recently when I went to North Carolina. It was 6 hours there. To my sister, it's like 5 hours. So anytime we're on these drives, you get tired driving after a bit, right? And at a certain point, I started thinking, man, there's still 2 hours. And that's the negative part. Like, oh, there's still 2 hours. Or, we still got an hour. And I'm just trying to get through. I'm just trying to get through this last hour or whatever it is. And I changed my thinking. And I started thinking, instead of, oh, there's still 2 hours, I think to myself, this is amazing. I made it 4 hours. This is awesome. I made it 3 hours. I'm halfway there. Right? And I think not just on what's ahead, what's left, what has not been accomplished, the negative connotation, but the positive. How much have I successfully done? How far have I actually come? And I use that and think, Aimee, look at what you've done. You got through not just 1 hour, not just 2 hours. You made it 4 hours. And I'll take a break if I need to take a break, because don't sleep and drive, guys. It's dangerous. But if I have nobody with me, I'll definitely take a break. But then I will remind myself, hey, you got through 4 hours. These next bunch, easy peasy. Easy peasy. And it fuels me to keep going because I'm thankful that I was able to do as much as I could. Does that make sense? And so if you, instead of focusing on the negative, on the smaller portion, right? Because it's so easy to do that, right? Someone said once, it only takes one bad thing to erase all the good things someone has done, right? And it's true because we focus on the negative, but focus on the positive, guys. Focus on the positive as much as you can, as often as you can. Be grateful for the people in your life. Be grateful for the steps you're able to take. This is why when I say you're chasing your dreams, it's not necessarily and shouldn't be about the end goal. This podcast, in coming up with it, there are a number of names that I kind of threw out there, but never did I want to talk about end goal. Never did I want to talk about the final destination, because it's always been about the chase. It's always been about the journey. So instead of focusing on that end goal and thinking, man, I haven't gotten there yet, focus on what's working, because it's about the journey and the process of what you're going through. And it should be the positive parts of that you're thankful for, that fuels you and keeps you going and makes you happy, right? That's the key. What is it that makes you happy? If you're chasing your dreams and you're always upset, you're always bitter, and you're always unhappy, I want you to think about whether this is actually the dream you should be chasing. No, it's about the journey. So if the journey isn't fun, why do you think the end goal is going to be fun? So it's important to focus on the positive. It's important to be grateful and thankful for what you have. So every day, guys, before you go to bed, or when you first wake up, whichever works for you, because, both are positive, both can help you. I think doing it at the end of the day and then rereading it in the morning is also helpful. List out. And this may be hard for some of you. And I'm not, for those who are like, what is she talking about? It's true. Sometimes it's very hard to come up with this. Come up with 7 to 10 things you are grateful for. Okay? Not even 7 to 10. Come up with 10 things you are grateful for. And I want you to write that down. Don't just say it in your head, but write it down. And before you go to bed, I want you to read it to yourself. And then in the morning, I want you to read it to yourself and go through the day thinking, man, I did this much. I am grateful for this much. Imagine what else more I could be grateful for. And every day, think about what is working. Think about the positive things that are going on in your life. Because there are some people who things aren't working for, but find a way to be positive. And God bless those people. They are my inspiration. Because no matter how bad it looks, no matter how difficult the struggle, they are still thankful. And they are living a better life than some people who have it all, but are negative about that. People who are millionaires but don't have enough. Ugh, I'm missing out on this, and this. You'd be surprised at who is happy. Okay. Sometimes it's not the person that has everything and is ungrateful. And sometimes it's the person who doesn't have a lot, but is the most thankful person you'll find. So in this Thanksgiving inspired episode, I want to leave you with this action item. Every night, every morning, come up with 10 things you are thankful for. And remember, it doesn't have to be huge things. It doesn't have to be earth-shattering kind of levels, right? It doesn't have to be, I got a new job. It can be, hey, I finished this project. Hey, if you get a test and you got an 87, I don't want you to think, man, where did those 13 points go? I want you to think, I got an 87. Because if you did your best and you got that 87, man, props to you. Great job. Way to go. And add that to your list. If you made yourself the best sandwich for lunch, and add that to the list. Your list isn't compared to someone else's list, all right? This is the list for you. Whatever you do with it, you do. But that is your list. If you want to post it on social media, that's all you guys. But what I'm saying is, do the list. Be honest for yourself. Don't write it so that if somebody else sees it, they're like comparing it to them. What will people think of my list? I don't care. I don't want you to care. It just needs to be true to you. It needs to be honest for you. Don't write this list, this gratitude list, for other people's opinions. Just like everything else I tell y'all, it don't matter what other people think. This is your life, not their life. What are you grateful for? Just because somebody else has something on their list doesn't mean you have to include it on yours. Right? So I want you guys to put that together for at least a week, from the 22nd to the 22 plus 7, 29th. I am going to post my gratitude list on Insta, hopefully, depending on the internet connection. With Carol, it's a little touchy, so I'm not sure I'll be able to. But the point is, for at least 1 week, if you can, from the 22nd to the 29th, share. You don't have to share. I was going to say share your gratitude list, but you don't have to share. I kind of don't want you to share. I want you to write it for yourself. But if you're going to do it, maybe just say, did my gratitude list. Tag me. Hashtag chasing dreams. Okay. Tag the podcast, whatever you got to do. Let me know you're doing it, but you don't have to share the list. I really don't want you to share the list. I was like, oh, share the list. Now thinking out loud, I just don't think you have to. If you want to, that's fine. If it's one of those accountability things for yourself, cool. You do you. I may or may not, depends on the connection, but it's important, so I'll talk to Bree, and see if we can't do a countdown for gratitude list, a reminder to you guys for that week. But, knock it out. See how your mentality, how your perspective changes your life in just a week. What happens if you focus on what you're thankful for a week? See what happens and let me know. See if you don't start seeing things differently in an easier way. And also, check your health. I don't mean that sarcastically. I don't mean go to the doctor necessarily, but, positive thinking can lead and is encouraged for not just your mental health, but your physical health as well. Everything's connected. My friend Anthony Hayes, he's going to be on the podcast. We have to re-record because of some technical difficulties, but he said something which I thought was profound. Your physical health affects your mental health, and your mental health affects your physical health. We don't often think that. So I want you to observe that this week and see what happens. All right. So regardless of where you guys are in the world, regardless of what you have going on, happy Thanksgiving. Be thankful today for all that you have. And for the next week, keep a gratitude journal, notes, whatever you have to do. 10 things each day. That's 70. Okay. You don't have to stop at 10. If you got more, keep on writing. All right. But at least 10 things. You can do it. You can come up with it. You can do it. All right. So guys, if you want to find notes about today's episode or you have questions, you can find most of the answers over on the show notes page at aimee21.com/episode 168. That's episode 168. And or message me. Hit me up on social media. I am around and available and always happy to answer and talk to you about these kinds of things. So until next time, Dream Chasers, keep chasing.
Thank you so much for listening to Chasing Dreams. Aimee would love to connect with you and hear all about your pursuit of chasing your dreams. Connect with her on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram via @ChasingDreamsHQ. Or you can find Aimee on Twitter @AimeeJ21. That's AIMEEJ21. Be sure to visit headquarters over at ChasingDreamsHQ.com for more inspiration, motivation, and resources to help with your own dream chase. We hope you'll join Aimee next week, and until then, keep chasing.